There's something up here. Let's check it out.
Yo, what is going on? Thank you so much for joining in. So I was scrolling across my TV, you know how we do, trying to find something to watch. And you know how on smart TVs, they have recommendations for you on the front screen? Well, one stood out to me for a few reasons. Number one was that it was called Dune World. Number two is that there was a worm on the cover. And number three, based off of those two things, it was a blatant ripoff of Dune. I mean, the worm, the colors, the suited up guy right in the middle, all scream Dune. So with Dune Part 2 being delayed, I thought, you know what, let's give it a chance and see what it's all about. So if you're ready, let's dive into Dune World. Alright, so Dune World is on a streaming service called Tubi, which I'm not really familiar with, but it looks pretty similar to other free streaming platforms out there, kind of like Pluto TV, where you don't even need to log in, but you're bombarded with not only ads, but also kind of low quality content. But sometimes they have some heavy hitter items out there, to attract some people to the service. So maybe Dune World is a heavy hitter movie that's just waiting to be uncovered. But what was strange is that after I clicked on the icon to get to Dune World, I could not find it in Tubi at all. I was searching, Dune, couldn't find it. I was searching Dune World, couldn't find it, until I looked it up online, and I found out that the name somehow changed to Sand World. I had to double check just to make sure it was the same movie, but it had the same cast, it had the same description. So it's definitely the same movie, but for whatever reason, it changed names. Maybe it was pressure from Warner Bros. I don't know. But enough of all that, let's just play it.
Beyond the trauma of human failure lies the stillness of cosmic wisdom. When people with poor wisdom tread among sleeping tigers, they shall meet with disaster.
So after whatever nonsense that was, we had to sit through an incredibly long intro scene where we finally learned that the true name of the movie is Sand World.
One day later.
I don't like sand.
Then we're thrown into some sort of psychedelic dream, because guess what? It is a dream. Our main character, Babylon, is sleeping on the job.
The tiger bites the man is the reading of the Book of Changes.
This is when we meet the rest of the crew on this beautiful spaceship, where we learn that their job is to mine minerals on a planet called Caliban. That sound familiar to you? I mean, we're only a couple minutes into the movie so far, and we're already getting some really strange ideas on what marriage is.
I just think a marriage is between two men and two women.
You sound like my grandma's.
So they're on their way to a planet called Caliban, not Caladan, Caliban, and Link, who is obviously an android, lets them know that they're quickly approaching.
We are nearing Caliban. Orbit in retrograde. Terraforming is a 3 of 5.
Sounds good, Link.
Then a few beeps and boops later, a random blast wave from the planet from this Jedi-looking, steampunk-looking guy, and sends their ship into a frenzy, knocking out their engines. No one's really sure what caused the blast or where it came from, but the crew starts asking some really good questions.
Unknown. All Link can tell us is what it couldn't have been.
Yeah, droids are funny that way. What does your gut tell you, Babs?
Then out of nowhere, this happens. I literally thought that they were dead in the movie, but no, they're just fine. They're just free falling towards the planet, eventually hitting the ground, but it looks like they're on a slip and slide.
Collision imminent. Collision imminent.
Hang on!
Then we get some more psychedelic looking scenes. The crew ends up all just fine, but it looks like the ship needs some heavy repairs in order to get back up into space.
Listen to him, Babylon.
And the very obvious looking android guy, Link, lets the crew know that there is a station nearby that could be the place where they can find some materials to fix up their ship, or it could be the source of the attack. And before we move on to what's next, a quick word from our sponsor. Just kidding, it's me. If you're liking the video so far, go ahead and click that like button, and consider subscribing, as I'd really appreciate it. Alright, let's get back to the thing that we all love, sand.
I don't like sand.
So the team, they deliberate on if they should go out to the station, if the risk is worth the reward, and if they can get the equipment that they need to fix up the ship, or if they should stay put on the spaceship. But it looks like wherever they are in the spaceship, it looks like the basement of an elementary school. But hey, who am I kidding? Maybe this is what the future of spaceships looks like.
I need to ask you about something strange that happened.
Go on.
We were hit with something. Some sort of blast, but whatever it was gave me a hell of a migraine.
Did you hit your head?
We also learned that in this universe there is a mineral called dysprosium that can be used for a energy source, but also be used as if it's like a drug-like substance, which kind of sounds familiar.
All I know is this chick back in Tycho City had some crushed up dysprosium. Wanted me to snort it with her the night before we shipped out. I mean, isn't the brain just a wet machine? I didn't do it. I told her, I don't snort crushed rocks up my nose, baby, but...
I wouldn't know anything about that.
So the team, they decide to venture out to the station in hopes to find some materials that they can use, while in the meantime mining some of that dysprosium as well. And they take extreme precaution venturing out onto the planet for the first time. There's nothing like a medical mask and sunglasses to make sure that you're safe from all the elements on the unknown world. And as the team is walking towards the unknown station, we finally get what we all been waiting for, some worm action. Oh, sorry, wrong worm. Here we go.
Is that what took down our ship?
That's weird.
It's coming from the ground, not the sky! Run! Jeffy, no!
Toast that bastard!
The team manages to get away, unfortunately losing one member of their crew, and literally 10 minutes goes by of them walking back and forth across that green screen, looking super concerned and looking for the entrance. Then finally, we get to our destination. They get to the station, and guess what the entrance is?
There had to be a foundation somewhere.
Damn!
Yep, the plastic top of a garbage can. Underneath that bad boy is hopefully the answer to all the problems that they have. So the team, they end up going down into the station, hopefully to find answers on if there's any equipment that they can use to fix up their ship, but also to figure out what happened to the people who were originally at this station. But not before that steampunk looking Jedi guy comes back and just stares at them. But we really don't know what his intentions are. He could be looking at them through his goggles as if he wants to help, but he's just like super socially awkward to where he can't really approach them. So he could be looking at them like... And after exploring the innards of the station for a little bit, they come across a room that has some equipment they could potentially use. And in there is a computer that might have information on what happened to the original people at this station.
You're there.
Then the dude from the very beginning comes back into the movie where we learn that he's actually an oracle, which in this universe is kind of like a ship mind or a AI program that lives inside of a spaceship that helps the ship maneuver across space, which kind of sounds familiar to something else. Field Navigator by chance? I mean, they do look kind of similar, right?
This is Oracle. the official holder of the Book of Changes for the Caliban mission.
Then our Oracle guy, he spits out some very useful information that's very clear on exactly what's happening and what happened to the original people.
Hidden dragon. Dragon appearing in a field. Dragons fight in the meadow. Their blood is black and yellow. Horse and wagon parked. Bloody tears flow.
I really don't know what that means at all. And the majority of the team listens to the playback of the Oracle, while one of them decides to venture back out to the surface just to check out the perimeter. Then our steampunk Jedi-looking guy comes back.
Now that's more like it. Alright, buddy, I gave you a chance. Not much of one, but...
And our boy Condor, that's his name by the way, Condor, immediately gets fed up and decides to start shooting at him almost instantly. But I thought half the reason why we were here is to figure out what happened to the original people here on this planet. And there's a guy that looks like a person standing right here, but you know what? Let's go ahead and shoot him. Okay, I take that all back. He had every right to shoot first. Meanwhile, our crew underground, they finally finish the Oracle playback. Then they find a pile of equipment they can potentially use.
Keep, Chuck, keep, Chuck. Ooh, this, little buddy, is our ticket back to the spaceways.
Huh? And in that pile of garbage, they find something that I guess can help them out. I have no idea what it is, but maybe I'm not supposed to. But it starts making a weird sound. Even though we don't really see it happen, the worm got Kid. That's his name, Kid. This is where it gets a little bit trippy. Even though the whole movie is trippy, it gets a little bit more trippy right here, where we learn that Kid uploaded a copy of his mind into Link, who is obviously an android. Kid were to die, that copy would be loaded into Link, where he can then operate it as if it's his new body.
Babs, it's Kid.
And now Kid, as an android robot guy, he has clear vision into the schematics of the spaceship, and now he can figure out how to fix the ship. So they venture back outside, and guess who shows up?
If we don't get out of here, it won't be. Come on.
They decide to have a little bit of a staring contest, and Babylon decides, you know, we should go back into the station for safety. They go back into that same room where they found the Oracle playback, and Kid, now as a robot, thinks that he can get some more information out of the computer and learn more about what these steampunk-looking Jedi guys are all about. But within a few minutes, Kid, in his new body, somehow short-circuits and, he dies. But not before telling Babylon another secret.
Kid! Kid, no!
But I also downloaded my consciousness into a probe on the ship. It launched when my first body died. It's beyond Pluto now. Perhaps there are other human beings out here beyond human knowledge. I'm going to know them. One day you may know them too.
Then Link becomes Link again, and Babylon is the last standing human member of the crew. But then she comes face to face with our Jedi guy.
You're the original crew, aren't you? The worms are the native species. You don't have anything to do with it. What happened to you?
We find out what happened to Condor. He is now a Jedi Master.
What? How can you do this? This is outrageous. It's unfair.
And he gives us the lowdown on exactly what is happening around here.
Minerals were mining. The dust. It's in the air. It gets in your brain. It works on your brain. We're evolving.
So we basically find out that the dust or the minerals in this planet, the dyspersium, actually manipulates people's minds and starts changing them into something better than human. So obviously that's very original, because nothing like that is in Dune at all. So Babylon is not having any of it, so she decides to shoot up Condor, but the laser beams are having no effect at all. So she ends up running down the hallway that we've seen so many times throughout this movie. It was used at least 10 or 12 times at least, but not before getting caught by the other Jedi-looking guy, and he says this.
The simulation's over.
Huh?
The simulation's over.
What is this guy saying?
The simulation's over.
What are you saying?
So after being confronted by the steampunk-looking Jedi guy and hearing these weird voices coming from the poop pipes,
Babylon. Kid. My wife. My husband.
she really cannot take it anymore, and she ends up lasering herself, which leads to this crazy-looking fireworks show.
No!
And you know, at the end, at almost any movie, someone in your group says,
"What if that was all a dream?"
Well, in this particular case, they would be right, because this was all a simulation dream.
No! Kid?
No! This is Patrick!
Yep, the whole thing was a simulation to see if their team had a viable chance to go out to the world of Caliban and start this mining mission. We learned that each of the crew members has a unique experience within this simulation, which is very strange to me, because what do you want the crew members working together in the same simulation so they can see if they can overcome whatever obstacles come their way?
But nah, let's just have them do their own thing.
But was it really a simulation?
Thank you, Link.
And that's it. That's how the movie ends, giving you a twist like no other movie before. Inception? No. Shutter Island? No. Arrival? No. Sandworld?
Yeah.
And after watching that, I gotta say, I don't even mind that Dune Part 2 was delayed. I got my worm fix in, man. So real quick, let's check out if there's any reviews on this movie, because I think it came out really not that long ago. Literally the worst film ever made. Do not watch. It will make your eyes bleed. I mean, it's a bit harsh. I mean, that didn't happen to me. And that's all I got for you. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and click that like button. And if we get 40 likes on this video, I'll do another video in the future where we cover a low-budget version of a popular film. And for sticking around this long, you've earned 1 XP token. And if you're already a subscriber, you get an extra XP token. So, here you go. Have a good one. Peace.